Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and welcome to my very first location spotlight here in The Division. Very excited to kick off this series. There's actually a lot of open world storytelling being done with the environmental design inside of The Division. Not to mention, a lot of the locations that we're going to visit over the course of the series are actually incredibly similar when compared to their real world counterparts. So that's something we're going to consistently be doing throughout the course of the series, is comparing the locations that we visit to the locations or the areas that would exist in the real world equivalents. We're doing that, of course, through the use of street names, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing that The Division follows, which makes it very easy to go ahead and search on Google Street View and see what these areas would look like in the real world. So our first location is a bit more of a low-key location. There's no doubt there's a lot of big ones to look at that we know are directly modeled after real-world locations, but this is one of my favorite spots in the Darkzone. I'm calling it the Library Sniper Nest, located in Darkzone 2 here. The best way to get to this area is to fast travel to the Grand Central Station mission if you have it unlocked, and then go ahead and enter the Darkzone through this one-way DayZ entrance. Immediately, you will see the library. This is where we're going to find the Sniper Nest. It's located in between East 39th, Park Avenue, East 38th, and Madison Avenue. Now, sadly, this location is one of those locations that is nowhere near like its real-world counterparts, so you're going to notice that as we compare it to the Google Street View footage. However, I want to point something out here because this is going to be a big part of this series. Graffiti. Graffiti. Not only is there a lot of awesome environmental design and, again, that open world storytelling, graffiti is a big part of this. Real graffiti. And we're noticing some of it right here on the outside of this quarantine wall. And this is probably my favorite thing about this. This is graffiti that was done. Someone tagged this after the quarantine already happened, after the Darkzone was already built and established. This is lovely to see. The big thing that developers love to do in games when it comes to graffiti is to put, like, dead inside, do not enter, like cheesy graffiti that's directly related to the game's story. I don't believe for one second that anyone who would say something like that would actually be doing graffiti. If there's someone going around tagging, someone going around getting up, they're probably real graffiti people, real graffiti artists who are still alive and realize that there is even less restrictions on what they can tag. And they're making awesome little creations like this and this. And we're going to see a lot more of this as we continue to explore all of these different locations throughout the series. So let's go ahead, jump the fence, enter the Darkzone. There is a purple chilling out there. I must have been just in the area when somebody killed this guy. I guess we'll grab it, why not? But if we go ahead and look to the right, there is the library. Yeah, there it is, man. Someone was probably paid a rather menial amount to lace this entire building with light bulbs and giant ribbons, and it looks beautiful. It genuinely looks glorious. And I have to say, at night, this location is particularly spooky because of just how bright these freaking spotlights are. It makes it very difficult to actually see anything. Now, you have to remember, this is a landmark, which means when it's purple, there are enemies, fresh spawns in the area, and in this case, they are elite tier, so we're not really going to spend any time wrapping around the front of this building. We're going to go ahead and get right to the point and check out the Sniper Nest. Now, the cool thing about this location, not just because of its design, but as an actual effective escape route for rogue agents, it is pretty damn efficient. There's multiple rappel points. We've got one in the alleyway, one in the front of the building, as well as one in the back of the building that we'll take a look at later. So this is the opposite of a dead end. This is a great place to sort of hide out and to try and cool down if you have rogue status, especially if you're alone, but if you're with a group as well. There are a lot of good lines of sight. We can peek down here, we can pop. It's going to be very difficult for anyone to assault us without us knowing that they're coming, and as I said, you've got a lot of great escape routes. Let's check out the graffiti while we're up here, though. Like I said, man, I'm a sucker for graffiti in real life. I love, like, just trying to process it. Most graffiti is really confusing because it's just nonsense. It's something that someone tagged for the sake of, like, pure random art. It has no real purpose. It's not a tree, it's not a painting. I know sometimes it can be, but most graffiti is just words or symbols or jumbled letters, and for some reason I love that. I'm so stoked that we have real graffiti in this game. So lots of worn down stuff here. This looks like it was actually really blasted by a storm, or maybe even someone tried to scrub it out at some point. We've got a lot more here. This is much clearer though. And you're going to notice there's some repetition. And when I say there's some repetition, not much, because I feel it's intentional. So we see waste, right? And we see what looks like cocks with a lot of other stuff scrabbled over it. So if we look over here, we've got waste, but you'll notice this is much bolder than the one over there, as if it's been tagged again at a different point in time. And then this is also much smaller, and it looks a little bit different. So I don't know so much that they repeated it. It's not as if the texture, you know, the graffiti itself was repeated just because. It's more so someone actually tagged it twice. At least that's the impression that I get. And I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with that. A lot of supplies up here too, you'll note. We've got a lot of, you know, plywood and 2x4s for reinforcing. We've got some spare speed rope and stuff. If we make our way over here, we're going to see a whole big cache of storage items, coolers, more graffiti, tons of different designs, different, you know, styles. I love it, man. Dead guy, dead rat, porta potty. All right, let's try and take this all in. This is very much what I was talking about with the open world storytelling. We're going to do a bit of theory crafting as to what happened here, who actually used this location as a camp out, and where they may be. Because in my version of what this location is, that dead guy isn't the guy who was staying here. In fact, the person who was here was some sort of a Darkzone sniper, possibly a civilian, or maybe even one of the members of the factions, who was hiding out here alone. Now, I'm going to assume they're a civilian who had some sort of prior weapons or firearms knowledge. Maybe they were ex-military. Maybe they were just, you know, someone who enjoys shooting rifles. And they happened to make their way, or they were trapped into the DZ, and this was their sort of little base of operations. They had a nice little lean-to. Admittedly, I probably would have put it against the wall, but hey, maybe they liked a little bit of a breeze. Ping pong table, lots of brewskis. I love the porta potty up here, and the fact that it says loading and unloading zone on it. Someone stuck that sign there, and for me, that is just instant comedy. And of course, we got the little fire. Plenty of rats, man. I don't know how I feel about the rats in New York City. Even though New York City's gotten a lot cleaner, I probably wouldn't eat them. But then again, I probably would. Actually, I know there would be no hesitation. If I was in this situation, I would totally hunt and eat those rats. Now, one of the other reasons I kind of call out the sniper card here is, of course, this piece of graffiti that you guys have been looking at. Headshot mofo. It is very clear cut, and I would love to think that there was someone up here popping the heads off rioters and Rikers left and right before this poor sap wandered on up here. This guy probably smelled the rats cooking in the middle of the night, was, you know, on the run from the Rikers. Oh, man. Made his way up here, probably had to struggle to climb that rope because I doubt he had the tools that we have. Only to find the sniper sitting here who decided, I'm going to shoot this guy in the stomach because no one can know about my location. I'm going to call it a day. And that's going to be the end of that. Next thing you know, this guy's dead. The sniper is fast roping with a rat in his mouth for the getaway and a brewski in his pocket. And we never will see him again. That's my story. I very much want to hear you guys share your theories on these locations down in the comment section below. We're going to visit a lot of locations like this throughout the course of this series, and I would love to hear you guys do some story crafting. That is the fun of really absorbing and soaking up an experience like this. Now, the last thing we need to point out here, all the graffiti, that ridiculous graffiti, is this plant. All right. Massive. Annecy. Red Storm. Whoever did this, I want to know. It's a green plant, a potted plant that was put on its side on top of this ventilation shaft. Now, in the rare chance that this guy or the sniper put it up there so it could grow in the middle of winter, I guess that's not a bad spot, but it's been knocked over, maybe by the wind, or maybe a developer just put it there to be funny because it is still green. I just don't know that a plant, or what seems to be maybe even a tree that's trying to grow, could survive in a harsh winter like this. But if it did, more power to it. Either way, I love ridiculously random stuff to like that. It reminds me of all the silverware under Black Rock Cave in Fallout 3. It's kind of got that vibe going about it. But let's go ahead and head the hell out of here. If you guys want to come and check out this sniper nest for yourself, you know the way to get here. Come and give it a look-see. Put together your own little story theory. Let me know what you think about it. More awesome signage and graffiti. I love it. Also, check it, guys. Check it. Yes, that's right. They actually have real, like, paper effects. Oh, I dig it. So much awesome art. Oh, it's so good. I'm so excited for this series. You guys don't even know. Like, I could just scream like a little schoolgirl about this series. I love highlighting awesome little locations like this, and I already have a handful of them bookmarked. on my little OneNote application, ready to be further researched and ready to be made into a video just like this one. If you guys have any other thoughts or feedback regarding this series, anything you'd like to see me do in terms of more details or things you'd like to see me focus on when I cover each of these locations, feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. Please share your story crafting as to what actually happened up in that little location. Come visit it for yourself, and I will see you in the next one.